up? What is up? What is up? How is everybody doing today? You are here. You are tuned in with another episode of I.O.W. Sports. It's episode 239. As you can see, it's myself, the wild card Mar. I'm here right now. I got the big homie Nick Shine. He in the building. Detroit Mail. He is getting some hemorrhoids removed. Excuse the elder statesman of the crew. We ain't been sitting down too long. I mean, we're doing 2-hour shows. Things flare up, and he's getting that taken care of. But he said he will be here at some point in the show. So
his pads and all.
So as always, y'all know the deal, man. Please, you see all the social media tags on the bottom of the screen. Go to all of those social media platforms. Go show them some love. You can catch the audio anywhere you get all your podcast needs. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram at I.O.W. Sports Network. Please go on over to YouTube where all the content is stored, I.O.W. Sports Network. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification, lets you know every time we drop some new content. You can follow us on Twitter, I.O.W. Sports 1. You can follow me personally, Twitter, Casey Wildcard Mar on Facebook and Instagram. Make sure, tune in, especially on my Jets fans. Please tune in to the big homies Nick Shine's podcast at Proud New York Jets Fans. You see it under his name. It's the same as it goes for his YouTube channel. He's been doing big things over there, getting a lot of Jets fans excited for the draft. So if you love talking Jets, please make sure you tap in with the big homie Nick Shine, Proud New York Jets fans. Please make sure you do that. Shout out to MJ. MJ's in the building. I think I saw MJ in the building. Our boy MJ from NJ. Me and him will be on tonight on the Late Night Owl Show. So make sure you tap in with me, myself, and MJ. Hey, and I got to give a shout out to Anthony Price, man. Shout out to AP. AP came on the show last Thursday. Him and MJ had an impromptu top 5 GOAT list. We did linebackers, safeties, and tight ends. And it's funny that we did tight ends because Shannon Sharp ended up dropping his Mount Rushmore tight ends list. We'll talk into a little bit more in depth of that discussion as well. Okay. Matter of fact, leading up because shout out to the big homie Nick. He got us a special guest today. But we'll chop it up about some football until we get our special guest tap in with us, and we'll have a great interview in the rest of the show, of course. So please be patient. We will talk NBA playoffs. We're going to talk about the big injuries to Ja Morant, the big injury to Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, we'll talk about, the Lakers getting a surprising victory. I was surprised by the Lakers getting a victory. We'll talk about the Clippers getting a surprise victory. That's definitely a surprise to me. So we'll talk a lot of NBA. There's a lot of NBA to talk about. We'll get to it. We'll get to some Major League Baseball quick hits, Friday. The Rays were not able to continue their win streak. Shout out to MJ. He told y'all. He said they ain't playing nobody. They played a good Toronto Raptors. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of basketball. Toronto Blue Jays played a good Toronto Blue Jays team, and we'll talk about the money drama because to me, I think there's a lot that needs to be said because for those who did not hear, Super Bowl appearing quarterback Jalen Hurts for the Philadelphia Eagles got the bag. He got paid. 5 years, $255 million, 180 of that guaranteed. It's really 179.304, but I'm rounding it up to 180.
At that point, who cares, right? Yeah, at that point 179 points on 180. So it's a couple trips to Walmart at that point. Who cares?
Yeah, pretty much. So 180 million guaranteed. I mean, big homie, when you heard the news, give me your reaction. Like, damn, congratulations, Jalen. What was it? What was your first initial reaction when you heard that Jalen got the bag today, man?
It pays off to have an agent. pays to have an agent. And kudos to her. She shot her shot and sent him a random DM when he was finishing up in college. It's okay. Do you have an agent? I'd really like to have the opportunity with you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an all-female company. You know, everyone's always big on women in
sports. And for those who don't know, Clutch Sports is the sports agency that's headed up by Rich Paul, who is LeBron James's best friend. And so that's a big signing for Clutch Sports and the young lady who signed with Jalen Hurts. Go ahead, big homie.
Yeah, so and she's going to have two of the biggest deals this offseason. She's going to have Hurts, and then she's going to have Quinnen Williams, who from the Jets for the D tackle. Should come in with the second largest D lineman contract, D tackle contract behind Aaron Donald.
Mm-hmm.
They've been patient. They've been waiting it out. But she's going to be the agent for two of the biggest deals this offseason. So good for her. Good for the company. Hurts' team is 5 women. You know, we've been talking a lot lately about women in sports and their role. And you can't forget the behind the scenes, you know, not just the people on television or in the coaching or front office roles.
Mm-hmm.
Stay far.
I know MJ shooting already, bro.
Hey, shoot it, man. It's worth it. But I mean, now Hurts just went to a Super Bowl. Lamar hasn't even been anywhere near that. What are you going to do? Like, are you going to go in now and demand more than Hurts? Or are you going to, I don't mean it in the condescending way, but are you going to know your role and like fall in the pecking order? Like, just because you're next doesn't mean you're getting paid more. You know, are the Ravens just praying that somebody like the Bucks or Atlanta changes their mind and goes for him post-draft? Like, I think Ravens are sitting there like, somebody please. Even if
somebody send us an offer.
Please. Like, I really do. Like,
yeah.
Like, I mean, if it's your guy, you sign your guy. You don't let this play out. But
thank you. I've always said that.
Like, if the Ravens and Lamar were a Facebook relationship, it would say it's complicated. Yes. It wouldn't say married. It would say it's complicated.
It's complicated, bro. It's funny that you say that because I think me and you have kind of been on the same wavelength when it comes to if that's your guy, what are we doing? Because not only is this to me, this situation is carried on almost like 2 years now. Like we're treading into not just this year, last year. Like we're treading into like, you know, almost 2 years of why haven't you gotten this contract extension? You was available for a contract extension 2 years ago. Yeah. And if you're their guy, why are we even in this situation? No, so I'm with you, but
I just got a tweet from Schefter, and he retweeted from Jameson Hensley that Jalen Hurts' 5-year contract extension with the Eagles looks very similar to the offer that Lamar turned down in September.
From the
total value, Hurts $255, Jackson $250. Guaranteed for injury, Hurts $179.3, Jackson $175. So this is almost identical.
Yeah.
I mean, now it puts Hurts' contract as $51 million a year. It's the top contract.
Highest paid
until Burrow signs, right?
Yeah,
Burrow's going to let Herbert sign.
Hey, don't get too ahead of it because we're going to get to that. Because I think
as of today, in the airing of this show, Jalen Hurts he might never play a game as the top paid guy. That's how quick it's going to get top.
Because I think this signing is literally going to be pretty much a domino to what's coming behind it. And you know, we talked about it numerous times on this show, but it does make Jalen Hurts the highest paid NFL player as of right now in NFL history. And so
when you're up for a contract extension and you know other players at your position are, it's the exact opposite mindset of hooking up with the stripper at the strip club. There, you want to go first. You don't want to be last in line. But when you're signing your contract, You don't want to go first. You want to be last in line. You want to let everybody else get off first. But in the strip club, you're like, I'm here for early, 20 minutes, play some
Hey, bro. Hey, bro. It's different pecking orders when trying to describe which kind of train you're running. All right. If you're talking about the money train, you want to be at the end.
Right? Look at Quinnen Williams. Again, because obviously it's something that I'm up on and I'm talking about all the time. Quinnen let Hargrave get his deal. He got $84 million, 4 for 84 with the Niners.
And then from Washington,
Jeffrey Simmons.
Jeffrey
Simmons with the Titans.
Jeffrey Simmons got
Allen?
paid. Yeah, I think it was Allen. Because Allen got paid, and then Jeffrey Simmons topped his.
Yeah, and then Simmons topped him. So now Quinnen is the next big D tackle to go, and everyone's like the Jets voluntary workout starter.
Not to mention, Chris Jones is up for a contract extension too. He has one more year on his last deal. But I think it would be beneficial for him and the Chiefs to get a contract extension done now, and let it kick in 2 years from now or a year from now.
I think Nicole and Quinnen are waiting, and they want to make sure they're the number 2 contract behind Aaron Dexter Lawrence, Wilkins, also from Miami. Yeah. So there's still a couple more to go, and I don't think Payne got it this year. Anthony, thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you, AP. Thank you.
We don't watch minor league football. None of us follow Washington.
No, I knew one of your Washington guys got paid this year for sure. But no, it's one of those things in the NFL where it's like you said, when you see another guy at your position get paid, your bargaining chip should be, all right, well, let's compare resumes, let's compare careers, let's do this, and then let's determine where I should be paid. Now, I mean,
and that's where you don't have the MVP. Lamar's got the MVP. Hurts got
the Super Bowl appearance. So I think it balances out. Listen,
if you're talking 240 or 275 million, who gives a shit, right? Like what are we being petty for? At that point, you offer me $240 million for my job. I'm not going to hold out because I want $25 million more. What am I going to do with that $25 million that I can't do already?
True.
Like,
No, you're right.
To me, just get the shit done. Like if you really want to win, if 220, 240, 260, who cares? 160 guaranteed, 180 guaranteed. Take the shorter deal, become a free agent again in 4 years.
And re-up. Exactly. Here's the crazy thing, because here's where I've always stood. I've always felt like whatever Lamar was asking for, I could have made a case that he was justified to get it based off what Deshaun got, and you're comparing careers. But now, to me, in the situation that we're in now, I don't think you can necessarily sit there and say the same thing of what Jalen Hurts got and what Lamar got, because I think their careers are very similar to each other. I think they're very, if you literally probably put them side by side, numbers wise, obviously Lamar has played a couple more years, so his number is going to probably be a little bit higher. But I think their careers are very similar if you look at the trajectory. Lamar, project, he's gotten better. Jalen Hurts was a project, he's gotten better. And like you said, you talking about an MVP for Lamar. Okay, regular season MVP, that does look nice. But, your playoffs aren't looking so hot. Jalen Hurts just came off a Super Bowl appearance. Yeah. You can't knock that. So if you're talking about the contract that was offered to Lamar and what Jalen Hurts just signed, you can make a case. I'm with you. Hey, Lamar. Hey, man, get the deal done, bro. Get the deal done.
I mean, hold on, Anthony. I got it. Anthony just added, Ravens offered Jackson guaranteed 133 at signing, 175 if he got injured, and 200 million signing guarantee if he's on the roster on the 5th day of 2026. Yeah, so that lines up with everything that I just read. The 175 if injured. I mean, go ask Joe Theismann what his contract was when his leg got shattered.
There wasn't no guarantee.
Stop. The guys still got to do commercials. Joe Namath's got to do commercials because these guys play because they love the game. Yeah. Stop with the telling me you got to support your family. Like, your family all don't need their individual 100-foot yachts. Sign the goddamn contract and play the game. Because for fans now, it's sickening to me as a fan to see people arguing between 220 and 260 million, where a lot of us don't know where our next meal is coming from.
No,
And
I
we're
agree.
scrapping to get to payday.
No, you are absolutely
So
right.
I have
You
no
are
sympathy
absolutely
for the common era or the modern era athlete, or like Floyd Mayweather and all these guys who like I try to maximize every single dollar. What's the difference from 20 million and 25 million?
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. So
I don't get it.
You bring up a valid point, but it's just that, you know, those dudes, you know, they have rich guys problems. You know, we got real common folk problems. And so, you know, unfortunately we're not in that position to be making, you know, 40, 50, 51 million a year, you know, but it's okay because we always find a way to survive, make things happen, and we're still going to, you know, make ends meet at the end of the day. And so, but with these dudes, especially in the NFL, I have no problem with them trying to maximize their dollars because they play a brutal sport. It's very physical. And your career, I mean, you know, I'm pretty sure Damar Hamlin didn't wake up and think Monday night that I was gonna, you know, have a cardiac arrest situation. So like moments like that do happen to these football guys. So it's like, you know, a wrong hit one way, you know, you talking about spinal cord situation might happen, or hell, let's not pray for the worst, or let's hope that the worst never happens, that somebody dies on the field.
Yeah,
and it's possible. So let's generalize and let's be realistic on the actual you know, risk that these guys are taking. Now I'm not saying like this is a dangerous occupation like being a firefighter or being a police officer. I'm not, because those being a police officer and being a firefighter are on another level of dangerous. All right. And your life is in danger literally every time. But on the same type of token, being a football player is dangerous. And there is a possibility that you can, you know, severely affect the outcome of your life from one game, from one hit. And it's possible. So that's why I'm never mad at players for going
or
to get
from one vaccine with blood clots that are rising in youth. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to make it political, but let's be real. Like, my cousin's daughter, 24 years old, dropped out of a blood clot in September.
Yeah,
young people are dying of blood clots at a higher rate than ever,
which is weird.
Take whatever you want from it, but in my opinion,
I agree with you.
The only new thing to be added to youth
was the vaccine. I know.
So, you know, we don't want to go too political off the cliff, but let's be honest. There was a lot of things forced on the public that could affect the youth, you know. And if that happened while he was sleeping, Hamlin, he's dead.
No,
like he should be grateful that it happened at an NFL game where everyone around is trained to respond to that, because not everybody has that. So he's very, very blessed for that situation that it did occur there.
Yeah. No, so yeah, you bring up a valid point. And I do agree with you with that little back comment that you said. But you know, like you said, we won't get too political. We're a sports podcast, so we'll keep it geared to sports. But you are seeing people getting odd injuries and odd conditions that we've never seen before. And that's why I'm like, get your money, young fellas, get your money. Get it while you can. Strike while the iron is hot. And honestly, I think that's what Jalen Hurts is doing. Let's be honest about the situation. Let's be honest with the Philadelphia Eagles. If anybody thinks that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be the same team that went to the Super Bowl, think again. They had a lot of, free agencies this year, and they're doing a lot of retooling. They are doing a, I don't want to say a rebuild, because they're not, but they're doing a retooling process that takes time. And so let's not act like the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be automatic to be the representatives coming out the NFC. But it does help you to keep your signal caller. It does help you to keep your quarterback. And hell, if I'm Jalen Hurts, why not maximize on how hot the iron is right now? I mean, he's supposed to.
And it's only going to get bigger, right? That's why you see them signing 4-year deals,
Yeah.
5-year deals, because of the fact. Oh, check the private too, by the way.
Yeah, I saw you.
Okay. Because they know that the television money is going to go up more in 4 years. They're signing 5-year deals in case there's a delay, but they're all getting outs after 4 years when that big money will re-hit.
It's about to balloon like crazy, bro.
It's going to.
Yeah.
I mean, Amazon can outbid everybody, and they can eliminate NBC, CBS, and ESPN from having games. Let's be real about it. If Amazon wants it,
don't say ESPN. ESPN is backed by the mouse.
they do, but they only get one game a week.
No, that's
if
fine.
They get total. If
what I'm saying
Amazon
is,
comes in with one blanketed offer to take all of it to Prime, ESPN is not.
I don't know. It's because we know how deep the Disney money is, and it's very deep. And if they say, hey, we'll just go ahead and get more money, let's just buy the whole viewing rights for the NFL. I'm pretty sure they can outbid Bezos in Amazon. That's just me personally.
Do you want to put all that money in for one night a week?
No. For me,
for one game a week. Excuse me, one game a week.
What, for that Thursday rights?
No, Thursday is Amazon. Monday is ESPN, and Amazon, with what they're doing with the futurized stats, I mean, you got to come up with something better, ESPN.
But what I'm saying
is, blown out too.
I wouldn't let I wouldn't if I'm ESPN. I'm not giving up that Monday night, because first of all, let's be honest, them Thursday night matchups are absolutely trash majority of the times. Now, are we still going to watch it? Yeah. Are the NFL going to maximize their dollars? No, because the matchups are trash.
Yeah.
But I mean, either way, NFL money.
But that's where Amazon's argument can be.
Yeah.
Your ratings are going up on Thursday with what we're doing. Yeah. Imagine if we get the main Prime games, that all of the games, they could put it this way. Amazon's not going to get outbid. It's just a matter of if they want it. No, and I think they could blow Disney out, CBS, NBC. People can watch these games anywhere now. You don't have to be stuck at home with CBS. You don't have to. I mean, sure, there could be a pay subscription, to follow your team or to have a league-wide subscription.
By the way, that YouTube Sunday ticket, wow, thing is almost like $400, bro.
Yeah. Anthony, I saw Anthony's comment. Disney should got NFL Red Zone. The NFL is not giving that up, because that's the main reason people get the NFL Network on cable. Yeah, they're not letting that be bid on. That's their gem.
No, that's their shit. Yeah,
I mean, Amazon comes in and wants that. I'm sure the NFL would listen, right? The NFL is all about maximizing profit, and as much as Goodell has been slaughtered on a personal level, the man made the NFL, has a big hand in making the NFL a 12-month sport. It's April. We're talking football to lead off the show.
Yeah.
January is the playoffs. February is the Super Bowl. End of February is the combine. March is free agency. April's the draft. Yep. May is like the quietest OTAs. The NFL gets. And then June, we have OTAs. July, we got camp. August, we got camp. It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like this 20 years ago. Very few people, they're like, you're watching a draft. What the hell is this?
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And speaking of the draft, man, I can't wait for I wish I was in Kansas City. We tried to get out there. It just didn't happen for us. Me and Mel were going to try to get out to Kansas City for the draft. And of course, that being my hometown, I definitely wanted to be out there because I want it's going to be lit. I mean,
you want to hit this and then we'll go to the segment?
Now, go ahead.
Since you're mentioning the draft, what's your input on this draft? People calling for the 2 and 3 spot. I do not think that Young is a franchise quarterback. If anybody wants to watch, you can go on YouTube, The Buffalo Jet Fan. We did 7 of my good friends who are Jets content creators. We did a 3-hour show last night. We did a full mock up to number 43 because the Jets have 42 and 43 as of now. We did a randomizer. We all took different teams, and it was an absolute blast. And it was well done. I'm not saying it because I was in it, but we weren't talking over each other. What? Well, I didn't hear you.
I said, you sure you're not embellishing a little bit?
Dude, for having 7 people on a show, like it ran really smooth.
Yeah.
Like we put a lot of legwork in behind the scenes before going on to make sure it wasn't a clusterfuck, which could happen when you have that many people in at once.
Yeah.
We assigned the random teams, and then we assigned which people were going to comment on each pick, so everyone wasn't trying to like fight to get in.
AP
So
says,
I think it's pretty good. I feel like we had trades.
He said
For
Bryce
Matt,
Young
the Giants were
canceled
involved in a
his
trade.
visit after the Panthers visit. What's up, Double J?
Yeah, I can't draft Bryce Young.
I wouldn't. Not at one.
I can't. And if I'm Houston, I'm going to maximize that because now the Colts at 4. You want to come up and get Richardson? You want to make sure you get Richardson or your quarterback of your choice?
Let's talk. Yeah.
Pay us. We'll drop the 4.
Yeah.
And now you have 4 and 12. You could still have your pick of the top defensive player.
Mm-hmm.
You could still move down again from 4.
Well, I don't know.
Run it back with Davis Mills and Tyler Heineke.
For me, 4 is a floor because I think there's 3 quarterbacks that go 1, 2, 3. Past that, I don't know because I honestly, me personally, I would go C.J. Stroud 1. Houston, if they stay there, I can see them getting Bryce Young just because. But you made some compelling cases on why they shouldn't. And Adam Schefter, you and him kind of had the similar take on why they shouldn't, or at least think about or don't be 100% sold on getting a quarterback. And then I think Anthony Richardson sneaks up there at 3. I think
he's top. I think he can't fall past 4.
I think there's a team that's going to go up there and just look at the potential that he has, and like, yeah, I got to go get him. Yeah. I mean, come on.
I think the Cardinals are going to have to pay for not the Cardinals, the Colts. I think they're going to have to pay for it because they don't want someone to jump in with the Cardinals taking calls to get to 3.
Exactly.
So now Texans are doing their due diligence and saying, okay, people want to come up to 3.
You can
hold up. What
10.
Are you going to pay us for 2?
Yeah.
Because don't forget, with the Deshaun Watson trade, they have a
major haul
ton of assets.
Yes.
This year and next year, they both have 2 ones.
Yep.
So if I'm the Texans, I'm going to take the best player available, which is either Carter, Anderson, Wilson, whoever you think.
Mm-hmm.
And then at 12, I'm going to take another player.
Yeah.
That's going to make my roster so much better. And then next year, if I need to trade up, because we have 2 2s also, I think I'm talking as them. Yeah. Houston has multiple 2s. You could trade back up into round 1 if a player that you like falls, and you can really build this team.
Yeah,
look what the Jets did last year. They ended up with 3 number 1 picks. That's what they did. They had 2 1s, they had 2 2s. They moved back up to get Jermaine Johnson.
Now, Double J. Normally, I would say it would be foolish to trade within your division, but when it comes with the draft, and if you feel like, I gotta have this guy, like whatever pick you think he's at, and unfortunately, if there's a division rival that's sitting at that pick, I mean, you got to pick up the phone. You just have to. You at least.
You're paying the division tax too. You're gonna pay more. The Texans are gonna be like, listen, it's in division. We're not going by the draft value chart. We're going by the FU
Because fact of the matter is I'm about to see this guy twice a year, and if he kills me, I'm going to be reminded that I trade with you to kill me for 2 times a year. So I got to pay the divisional tax. You just got to. But like we said, the draft is at the end of this month. It's going to be exciting.
We're going to go heavy draft on this Thursday and the following Thursday, the day of round 1.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I'll get with you behind the scenes because I think we should break it down by certain positions, and then we'll kind of get more in depth about it.
Yeah, we can come up with a format that way. It's not all over the place, and we can time it up.
Yeah, no doubt. But thinking of,
I'll let you.
Ready? No, go ahead.
But yeah, we'll definitely do that, and then I'm gonna do a draft live show with my Jets buddies.
Mm-hmm.
If you're more than welcome to come on, Mel, more than welcome to come on. We'll set up a link. Some of the real big Jets guys are doing it, and some of the guys were intimidated, saying no one's going to watch. I go, listen, you put us on, people are going to pop back and forth. Sure, we might not have the numbers of the guy who has 25,000 followers on YouTube, but I would rather I don't care if it's just us backstage just talking. That way we don't have to text 7,000 times that night.
No,
you know what I mean? Like we
with
did this thing last night. There was 7 of us, and I was like, "This is the coolest thing," because we've all done each other's shows, but we've never had the 7 of us in our DM chat.
Yeah.
On the same show at the same time. And I was like, this is the
I
coolest
agree
thing
with
in the
you,
world.
MJ.
I don't even care if people don't watch. I would do this just us, like a fantasy football league, just to have fun doing it. So fuck the view, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's a fun time. It's a great hobby.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. And when I said that, the guy was like, you know what? You're right. I'll do it just to hang out with you.
Yeah. It ain't always about views. It's just about, networking, contacting and stuff like that. But draft's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be probably the most wildest draft in history. I've said this numerous times. I'm going to keep repeating because I think it's going to be batshit crazy. I think there's going to be hella trades. I think there's going to be hella players that are on teams right now that are wearing a jersey and they will not be wearing it past April 27, 28, 29.
A-Rod. A-Rod.
So don't
Derrick Henry, Aaron Rodgers. These are all guys that could get moved. Buda Baker.
So pretty, Buda Baker just asked for a request. Devin White asked for one in Tampa Bay last week. So, D Hop been rumored to be on the on a move. Don't buy no jerseys right now. If you're gonna get a jersey, customize it. All right,
don't buy the jersey till the player retires. It's a scam.
No. Me personally, I've never bought it. Well, okay, I'm lying. I've bought players' jerseys when I was like teenagers. But as an adult, I never bought one because I know how the game works with the NFL, NBA, and all that. I get customized jerseys. I put my name on the back.
Jay just added Austin Eckler, another one that.
Yeah, Austin Eckler is definitely on the move. Oh yeah, I think so too.
Wild, right?
But speaking of, I know, which is wow. This dude is. I've already done shorts about it on the show. I've talked about it on the show to nauseating amounts. I think Austin Eckler is such a Swiss Army knife. It would be ridiculous for the Chargers to move on from him if they really want to be serious about contending, especially just in that division. You don't sit there and think that Williams and Allen, Keenan Allen going to stay healthy for 17 games. You're ridiculous if you think that's going to happen. Anyway, a lot of futures going to be told in the draft. But speaking of futures, man, we got a special guest. The big homie Nick knows him personally. We're going to get him on here. We're going to have a quick little interview, chop it up with him. And I heard he's willing to stay and we're going to pick his brain about some of these, sports topics going on in the NFL because he plays football, baseball, basketball, whatever. We'll get into it. Hey, but Big Nick, do the honors, introduce our special guest and bring him on in here and we're going to get it popping.
Yeah, this is a young man that I've had the privilege of knowing him and his family since he was in the 8th grade. He's finishing up his, I believe, freshman year in college. He went to Montclair State. He plays football there. Followed his career through high school, and just an outstanding young man. Comes from a great family. Wants to get into the podcast game, and was texting me asking about it. And I was like, I'm just have you on the show one day. Come on in, get your feet wet, and then go from there. So without further ado, here's the young gentleman, Anthony Roger.
Anthony, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Good. So Anthony, first of all, just give us the basic, full name, where you're playing at, position, and future goals and aspirations you got for yourself. Anthony, go ahead.
All right. Well, I'm Anthony Roger. I'm 19 years old. I go to Montclair State, play football. I'm a wide receiver.
Nice.
My future goals, I just want to kind of get into, do the kind of thing that you guys are doing, podcast, sports account. I started up a TikTok recently, just kind of posting videos, taking, the pictures that, the NFL post, kind of do slideshows, talk about that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I hope to do and expand on it further.
That's dope, man. It sounds like you got a plan already. And I'm trying to tell you, man, I'll be honest with you, man, this podcast game, it's a grind. It definitely is a grind, but like Nick said earlier, man, if you just love what you do, especially because you play football, even if you do a football-based podcast, it brings a level of legitimacy to it because you have knowledge of the sport. So, and then it can translate to, your love of football, and you can translate it into the love of podcasts, and especially about about that respective sport. So let me ask you this. Now you say you want to do, podcasts and things like that in the future. Did you have any future goals or aspirations when it comes to specifically playing football?
Well, yeah, for this upcoming season, I'm looking to start. I mean, I'm a rising sophomore, got some playing time last year, so I'm looking to, expand on that and hopefully start this year. So we're finishing up spring ball soon, that kind of stuff. And then also, I hope to, one day, like make all conference, do those kind of things. There's actually a guy this year from my school, Brennan Ray. He's in the draft this year. He just had his pro day and all that kind of stuff. So someone to look up to, obviously the great Sam Mills. So, being at Division III school with that kind of history kind of, is something to be proud of. So I hope to, step in this year coming up and make a name for myself on the college football side of things.
That's nice, man. Hey, man, honesty, I wish I had your mindset when I was 18, 19 years old. I was too much into the, I was skirt chasing. I ain't gonna lie, dog. I was like, where the woo at? I wish I had your mindset, man. So tell me about like your inner circle, like who's around you that's helping you keep you grounded and keep you focused on goals and aspirations that you got planned out, because you sound buttoned up, man. Cause I wouldn't like that at 18, 19 years old. I was like, where the girls at? Where them booties at? You know what I'm saying? So you sound real buttoned up, man. Who's in your circle, man? Who's got the positive talk in your ear, man?
Well, I got a couple groups of people. First is my family, my mom, my dad, brother, sister, grandparents. That's one. Always been very supportive. Obviously, Nick knows them very well, so they've always been like that. Second's my girlfriend, which is why I'm not like on that kind of timing. So she's very supportive,
nice.
And then my group of friends, I got a group of like 10, 12 guys I've been friends with now throughout high school. Some are younger, some are older, my little brother's in that group of things, and just a bunch of people that are very supportive. Some people, give me a slap in the back of the head if something, I'm not doing something right.
As you should be, you should be, man.
Balancing it out between the three. So.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Jump
it's a small world, because I grew up with his girlfriend's mother, like a block away. So it's a small world that he ended up like dating her. And I saw the pictures one day his mom was sharing. I was like, hold up. I'm like, that's Angela's daughter. And it's really, really small world. And I texted the dad. I was like, listen, I'll vouch for the kid. He's a really good kid. I'm like, I know him. So if he acts up, let me know before you call his dad. I'll step in it. Question I wanted to ask you. My son's a freshman and he's going to watch this. He's a freshman in high school. Give a message to the younger guys out there. What's life like balancing traveling, commuting up to Montclair State, being a student athlete? Tell us about some of the challenges of that and how you deal with them.
Well, some of the challenges I could definitely say is how tired you are throughout the day. I'm drained. I get up, 4:30, 4:45 in the morning, get ready, get in the car, drive 30, 35 minutes up to school. Got practice in the morning, 3 hours, got 2 classes during the day, come home. Some days I got work. So really it's just about managing your time the correct way and kind of, just fighting through the adversity. That's what the sport's about. It's what life's about.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's times where I get up, I really do not want to go to school. I really don't want to. I don't want to go to class after being at football. I mean, I'm already up for 4.5, 5 hours. Went through 3 hours of football, whether it be meetings, whatever it may be. And we're only in the spring right now. In the fall it's different. But just you gotta. If you love it, you do it. Some people are on the fence. I don't know, and then they end up not succeeding. So if you do love it, you have to stick to it because it's not easy. Not easy at all. Like I said, days I don't want to do it, but I love the game of football, so I'm gonna do it. I want to be successful, in my career one day, so I got to go to school. So, what some people do is that they look superficially, like everything's kind of like in the moment and not planning ahead. So I like to think of things like if I don't do this right now, then later I'm gonna suffer for it. So.
Domino effect, right? You could have a domino effect of positivity or negativity. It's up to you to decide which one you're going to knock over. Like I said, I've known you since you were in 8th grade, and Uncle Pedro, one of my best friends, always says that it's student athlete. You've heard this a million times from him, and probably Dad too. You've heard me say it.
Student first.
First, yeah.
Yep.
If you don't take care of the class, you ain't gonna get to play and knock somebody on their ass, right? So, take care of everything. Give me a couple of your favorite moments as an athlete coming up, whether it was youth football, high school football, or even in college now. Give me like a couple of those moments that stand out where even you look like, oh shit, I did that, or we did that from a team aspect.
Yeah. Sorry about the phone thing. I don't know why it's going.
No, you good, man. This happens on. Hey, this is something you got to get prepared for when you do live podcasts. Like I got kids and
I'm waiting for Mom to bring you in a snack to say hi to me. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm waiting for Mom.
No, I'm at my grandparents' house right now because my uncle's visiting from Michigan. And he's getting ready to leave shortly, so I know the house is going to be kind of hectic with all that kind of stuff. So I ended up coming here, but they have the house phone still. The old people with the house phone. So that's what was going on.
Landline, man.
You can't. Cell phones can go down during the storm, man. That landline is forever.
Yeah, so that was what was going on.
Hey, Jay Jones said that's your agent calling, man. You got an agent coming, bro.
That's Jay trying to get him on his show now already. He's like, hey, forget those guys. Come over with me.
But yeah,
back to the question. Give me some of the highlights of like your career so far. Like, what are some of the moments that stand out to you?
I'll go by like grade level things I can remember. So Pop Warner, I remember obviously the winning the championship at the Saints Field, winning the championship with another program. So I won 2 there. So from a young age, how my dad was, winning is like the only acceptable thing. You don't want to lose, you don't play the game to lose. So that's kind of how that was. High school, playing at St. Joe's, played some really tough competition there. Been with guys went to Temple, guys went to Notre Dame. So, I've seen what it takes to be successful, and I try my best, to emulate that into my life. Things like just like making like the all-star team in high school, making, all county or all division, whatever it may be. That's
used to be the Snapple Bowl, right? What do they call it now?
Yeah, it was the Marissa Tufaro Bowl. I played in that. We won that game. So those are the kind of things in high school. I remember like my first catches, my first touchdowns, whatever it may be. Like when I was a sophomore, I came in, I had like badly pulled my hamstring. So I was out for like 6-7 weeks. I had a potential to like be in, a little bit of a role player. That happens. Come back end of the season, last game of the regular season before playoffs. You want to get a win going into the playoffs for the States.
Oh, yeah.
And my best friend, who was a quarterback, had broken his hand. So a receiver moves over to quarterback, plays quarterback, and I come in, and 2 points of the game, I had the game-winning interception, and I had like a 43-yard catch where I went up with 2 people, came down with it. So that high school is probably like my single best moment I remember, just because it was my first interception, a first catch, started off like that. Being interviewed after the game. Like, that's like the thing I remember from high school. And then for college, so far was just playing in my first game and like being in the rotation. My last game of last year, I was in the rotation like every other drive going in. I made a couple big like blocks on the edge, spring a run.
Yeah. Nice.
And then
that stuff matters, Anthony. That stuff matters.
Yeah.
Like you got to be all around. You just can't be a pass catcher. You got to be a blocker too, brother.
Exactly. So, doing that, and then just like what I've done so far in college, in terms of school and stuff like that, is very important. But, when I made my decision, as I was going to go to Lock Haven first, in PA. And then, I changed my mind last minute, money, location, whatever it may be, a combination of everything. I stayed home and I decided to go to Montclair like 2 weeks before their training camp starts for the fall. And I wasn't vaccinated, so I had to get vaccinated. It was a school's rule. So I missed 2 weeks or a week and a half of summer camp because I can't be around the team yet.
Yeah.
They have their scrimmages. I haven't even practiced yet. And coming in, I was number 22 on the depth chart. So, being like the youngest guy just about. Yeah, wide receiver, 22.
Yeah, that's how deep.
Yeah. So, came in 22, one of the youngest guys on the team. And by the end of the year, I played in a couple of games. And by the end of the year, I was able to get into the rotation, and play a little bit. So
That's big, man. That's big.
Yeah. So it's just kind of for college right now is kind of just like how I'm building my character more than performance right now. Because again, it's a completely different game. In high school, I remember when I was a sophomore, there were some older dudes. I'm like, I can stick with those dudes.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you come in like these are grown men, that you play against. When I'm an 18-year-old coming in, so at first it was kind of like it's going to be a little rough, but I stuck it out and ended up being towards the top end of the depth chart towards the end of the season. So that's something that I'm very proud of myself.
Hey, you should be proud of that, my brother. So I'm gonna ask you a question because I want you to kind of speak to the younger guys about adversity, because just based off what I just heard from the last 5 minutes, you had a couple of adversity moments in there in your career, in your young career. So kind of speak to the mental strength and the focus and the drive and determination that you got to have to continue on.
Yeah, definitely. I would say that's just as important as you're on the field. Strength and performance, skill. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. St. Joe's. I had in high school. I know. I had a couple injuries, like I said, with the hamstring. I had going into my junior year. I had a stress fracture in a vertebrae. I actually had a bone stimulator. I had to do that, or I had to get fusion surgery. Go in the training camp, and I wore a back brace, full back brace to play. So
Wow.
things like that. I would say just don't give up, because again, I said I love football. I do. So I'm not gonna just give up on it. You got to work sometimes. Sometimes your hand of cards that you get dealt aren't as easy or as good as somebody else's in the moment, but you got to make it work. So it's just as important, because you could be the most talented guy. Some pressure comes in, some adversity comes in, you shut down. Yeah. Or you got to balance of both. You're a guy who's good in the field, but when something goes wrong, you can be there for your teammates, or be there just for yourself to pick yourself up when something goes wrong. It could be health, it could be outside of football, friends, family, something like that, or on the football field. Something wrong can go on, or you can shut down for the game, or you can come back and pick yourself up and get back to what you got to do.
I love it. I love it.
I could still hear your mother's voice on your interception video. Yeah, I still can hear it. Like when you were talking about it, her voice popped into my head, because I hear her screaming.
People say all the time,
she's dad. I've seen all of his clips, all of his highlights.
He is. Hey Jay, he dropping gems, man. I said the same thing, man. Anthony's button up over here, man. You got the right people around you. You got the because that speaks to everything that's going to help you in the future, because and I'm gonna follow up with a question right here, and we're going to kind of transition a little bit, kind of speak to this NFL money that's getting thrown around, and people saying, oh, this player deserves this money, guaranteed. Lamar Jackson wants to get paid. Jalen Hurts just got paid today, and got a big bag. So where do you stand on the player position when it comes to getting paid? Because obviously you're playing a dangerous sport. You've had some injuries of your own. So where do you sit at, as in, hey, man, I'm a pro player, make sure these guys get paid, because we're playing a very dangerous sport? Where you sit at on that spectrum?
Yeah, I would say football compared to other sports, I mean, the injuries are completely different. And I mean, life-threatening injuries compared to other sports. I mean, you have basketball players, baseball players, soccer players, they obviously, everyone could have injuries, but I mean, physicality is the name of football. You're hitting people, you're getting hurt damn near every play. So I understand why people want to, make this money. I mean, in America, I mean, what's America's sport? It's football, hands down. I mean, you got a Thursday night football game that has more viewers than the NBA finals. It's ridiculous. So in the entertainment industry in general, you can have these great teams, great industry, stuff like that, but the players is what drives it. The players, is what brings popularity to the game. They're the ones who display the talent. So you can't have a football team without football players. I mean, you can have coaches, but what is Bill Belichick going to go do? Put on a, run a 40-yard post, catch a whatever it may be, throw a 60-yard bomb like Mahomes can. Like,
I'm willing Belichick got the slowest 40 of all of everybody.
Probably would. That's what I'm saying. Like you need to have the players.
Oh, I'm taking Andy Reid.
Nothing.
I'm taking your guy to win that title too, Mark. Andy Reid, like I can eat a burger by the time someone runs a 40. And that's about the only contest.
I would put Andy Reid in a burger eating contest before I ask him to run a 40, bro.
He'd probably be eating the burger while he's running the 40.
Oh, hey, Lenore.
He's not going to be running fast, but yeah, that's I could see why these guys are, want the money. I mean, they bring the money to the game. They bring the money to the owners. So these owners aren't getting paid without the players, and especially a position like quarterback, where that person is the face of your franchise. They're going to get more money. And I was talking about my grandfather earlier about Daniel Jones and guys who aren't elite, but they aren't bad. They're in that middle category, wherever you want to put them. And
serviceable, right?
Yeah,
a serviceable starter for now.
Yeah, and you get a guy like him or a guy like Kirk Cousins who get paid a lot of money, and people would say that, they're getting overpaid. What's going to happen is the elite guy is not going to settle for, maybe 20 million more, 30 million more. That's why I saw Jalen Hurts got that ginormous contract, because Mahomes, didn't Mahomes get $500 million?
Yeah, got $500 million.
10 for 450, but it could be up to 5.
Yeah. That's ridiculous money. Now, people would say for a guy to play a sport that you could play at recess, that's a lot of money to be making. But you can see, how it's got a bidding war. You know how that is. This guy signs for that much, so I'm not going to sign for that much. I'm better than him. There's also an ego aspect to these players getting money. If I was a player in the NFL, I would definitely want to maximize my contract.
Yeah.
Like you said, you want to be able to enjoy yourself, for other people, your family, stuff like that, get them nice things, because you work your whole life for them. It is a job at the end of the day. It's not recreation at that point. If you don't do good, you're fired. There's so many people that want to play in the NFL or sports in general professionally that they can get, and they'll take 1% of the amount of money that Jalen Hurts just got, to play. Yeah. So, these guys are deserving of the money most of the cases. But sometimes when you get that bidding war going on and some dudes sign for less and more, that's kind of what screws it up.
Yeah,
but I think they should definitely be getting that
more. Oh, yeah. And what you're seeing is that the bigger names, the bigger contracts are making the mid-tier guys, as Jay said, get paid more.
Yeah.
So they're raising the water level for everybody in the sport. It's not like you're getting paid $50 million as Hurts, and then there's still starters getting $8 million. Everyone's rising.
Hey, I put it like this, Nick. Daniel Jones didn't get paid because him being Daniel Jones. He got paid because he's paying a very needed position.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the coach believes in him, and the coach says, I can win with them.
Yeah.
That's important when you have a season you're a Giant fan, Anthony, so we'll use that as an example.
Giants/Saints. I'm more of a Giants fan because of my grandfather, but yeah, I do pay attention to them both.
And you're in his house right now, so you're a Giants fan.
You're a Giants fan right now.
Before he comes in here.
Yeah, I was about to say we don't want.
I want you to get a meal. I want you to be able to eat dinner. I don't want you to be cut off and sitting outside the house at dinner time. But when you look at the Giants, the coach believes in the quarterback and the player and says, I can win with them. So now the front office and the ownership has to pony up to pay that player. Yeah. And they gave him above fair. It was ridiculed by a lot of people, the contract, but that's what quarterbacks are getting. It's not like you're paying a long snapper $22 million a year. Right. You're playing a quarterback, and they're usually the face of the franchise. 80% of the time, the quarterback is the face of the franchise. You have other teams that have players like Aaron Donald, who are just such big superstars that they become the face. But it's the money's there, like you said. The money is there, and the television contracts are only getting bigger. COVID brought the salary cap down, but now it's up $50 million from when the salary cap dropped during 2020.
And
so
that was
3 years, you're up.
It wasn't like a humongous dip. It was a small dip, but
what?
That the salary cap it went down because of COVID, but it NFL compared to anything else,
what was it, 185, 190? And now it's up at 238. So that's a massive amount. That's a huge quarterback deal, right?
Yeah, in
Yeah.
3
That's
years.
your quarterback paid right there in that
Yeah.
40-50 million.
Yeah.
And then it's going up more because of the Amazon money now, because the Amazon money didn't hit until this year. So that's why everybody's doing these huge contracts now, because they know what the salary cap's going to be down the road. So you can pay someone a little bit this year. Like, look at Darren Rodgers' deal. It's perfect. Michael Thomas, the wide receiver, is going to be 59 million on the cap in 24.
Oh my gosh.
A wide receiver at 59 million in 2024.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because we're a sports podcast, we like to do lists and debates on certain things. So Anthony, break it down, man. You play wide receiver. I'm putting you on the spot. I need top 5 wide receivers in the NFL right now.
All right. I'm not going to go order here. I'm not going to go order, but I'm just going to go top 5. Definitely Devontae Adams. Obviously got to be on there. Jefferson got to be on there. Kupp got to be on there, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get into a spot where it's kind of like, who kind of goes in there for me. I think somebody that's very, like, people don't talk about enough, as I think Mike Evans has really at this point deserves to be on a top 5 list. I mean, last year, a little rough, but that team wasn't looking the best either. He can't do it all himself, but Mike Evans is a guy, being a Saints fan, and, seeing him twice a year was always headaches on that. Thank God we had Lattimore, but,
yeah, that eases it up.
Which is always good for a fight with Evans, right? It's always good for those two to get into a scuffle.
Mike Evans. Yeah, Mike Evans is, great receiver.
Yeah.
And then, I would probably say Chase. Deep ball threat. Chase is electric. Definitely got to go with Chase. So those are probably my 5 guys.
Lamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp. You got Mike Evans in there, and you got Devontae Adams. That's not a bad list.
I gotta question you. Not calling you out, just a question. And I am not a fan of Lamar here or the Dolphins, but no Tyreek Hill over Mike Evans. That's the name that surprised me, because normally that's the name.
See,
I love the consistency of Evans. He's the guy who just brings his lunch pail to work, shows up at the end of the day, he dropped 1,000 on your season. But as much as I despise him being a Miami Dolphin with the hat and the team that I root for, it's kind of hard for me personally to leave Tyreek Hill, because he's so dynamic. The guy got 1,800 yards with noodle arm quarterback who missed several games. Like he has Skylar Thompson.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Teddy Bridgewater, and he still put up 1,700. How much? What was his final number this year?
It was up there. It was definitely up there. My thing is that it depends. Usually when I do lists, I like to do it based off of their skill set for the position. Okay. Like Tyreek Hill, obviously has improved as a route runner. Hands have improved and stuff like that. But Tyreek Hill's on that team to run straight, and catch a deep ball. Yeah. A guy like Mike Evans, even though he's so big, I feel like his skill set is better than Tyreek Hill's. I feel like Jefferson's and Kupp's and Adams and Chase has more of a better wide receiver skill set than Tyreek Hill does. But now if I'm going to start a team and you're saying, let's start a team with 5 receivers, I would definitely put Tyreek Hill on there because of what he can do on the field.
Yeah,
when
he can do what other guys can. Jefferson and Chase are like almost carbon copies of one another. Hill brings something to the table that nobody else can do.
Completely different. So that's more or less why he's not on my list. But of course, that's why I was kind of debating: do I put Evans, Chase, or Tyreek Hill? It was those 3 for 4 and 5. But no, Tyreek Hill's it's unreplaceable. A guy like him. Obviously, if you want to start a team, you do that. But I was going based off of skill set, because some dudes don't have Kupp even in their top 5.
Wow, that's wild. To me, that's wild. Cooper Kupp is a machine.
It is.
That dude is balling.
People fall in love with the what's your 40 time and stuff like that. Cooper Kupp, not a burner. He's not fast for NFL standards.
Cooper Kupp is the closest thing we've ever seen to Jerry Rice, because you wouldn't take any of Jerry Rice's physical attributes and say, when you know how they had to have all the time, build your perfect receiver. I want Calvin Johnson's size. I want Tyreek Hill's speed. I want Larry Fitzgerald's hands. The only thing you take from Jerry Rice is his work ethic. Mm-hmm. You take his work ethic and his route running. And you look at Kupp, you take the same thing.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
He's not the fastest. He's not the most elusive. He doesn't have the great quickness, but he is just so precise and accurate with everything he does that you can basically throw blindfolded and know where he's going to be and when he's going to be there. I heard a defensive coordinator say he's a nightmare to do film on because, as a receiver, they coach you up on this. You don't want to have any tells. You don't want to have any giveaways with what route you're running, your hand position, your legs. Maybe when you're going deep, you dip a little lower to get that explosion. He has no tells. They said every single route he runs looks
same way,
identical.
Yeah.
And he's a nightmare to cover because his 5-yard hitch is the same as his 20-yard post.
Yeah.
And you never know what he's going to do.
And that's exactly what made Jerry Rice so dangerous, is because he ran every route the same way. And while you were describing Cooper Kupp, I'm like, okay, I think Nick's on to something when you think of the closest thing that's going to be to Jerry Rice. And I'm not saying that Cooper Kupp is going to do Jerry Rice things, but let's not sit here and act like that is not possible, because it's damn sure possible that Cooper Kupp could put up some ridiculous Jerry Rice numbers. And I'm not saying he's going to play what Jerry Rice played, 22 years?
Yeah.
But I mean, Cooper Kupp is he's a baller. So if you don't have him on your top 5, I don't even think we even need to talk football with you guys.
and Kupp is my favorite expression, Lamar. He is substance. A lot of people look for flash over substance.
Exactly.
And and you saw what he was capable of. And it still blows my mind that Matthew Stafford has been the quarterback for the 2 greatest wide receiver seasons we've ever seen with Calvin Johnson and Kupp. It blows my mind.
Yeah,
it's nuts. But no, Anthony, you watch some NBA, man?
Definitely watch some NBA. Yeah.
Nice. Well, let's transition, and we'll get you you cool to hang out for a little bit.
Definitely, I'm here till whenever I'm not allowed to be on here. I'm cool. I'm
word. Well, we got about 50 minutes in the show, and we'll definitely chop it up and get your opinions on some things. So big weekend in the NBA. I'm gonna start right here. I'm looking at the Memphis Grizzlies. They dropped game 1. I always going
and
into
jaw drop too.
Well, yeah, I'm getting to that. So
I couldn't resist the play on words. You know me.
So big homie Nick, give me your opinion, man. Depending on the severity of Ja's injury, does this change the series instantly?
I mean, we all know, we all have our feelings. I got you, Anthony. There you go. Oh, look at him learning already. He hit the mute on his own.
Go ahead.
We know that things are going to go the Lakers' way when the league wants things to go the Lakers' way, right? Like, it's just it's the way it is, man. And they've been down, they've been mocked, they've been ridiculed.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's anything against Memphis per se, but it looks like the stars are aligning for the Lakers. Right? They were down against the Timberwolves, and all of a sudden they come back miraculously. I don't think that it can be overlooked that sometimes you need luck. And Morant going down would be bad luck for them and good luck for the Lakers.
Yeah.
Who Giannis just fell.
We'll get into that.
You look at some of the teams that were favored or in the conversation to go win a title, just balanced it out for the mid-tier teams like the Lakers. So, I mean, this is the time of year when a team that just brings it all together, they make the trade and maybe it doesn't really click immediately. You look at the Lakers, they dumped Westbrook, they bring in Russell, they're starting to play better. They're better moving of the ball. You know, LeBron barely touches the ball in the first quarter, right? Like LeBron he lets everyone get off early, and I think it's because he's getting older. Now, what does he do? I'm going to attack in the second quarter when the second team is in, and I could still get mine and help my team.
Yeah.
That's been something I've noticed, that LeBron will barely do much in the first quarter. He'll have 2 points and a rebound at the end of one, and then he'll have 14 at the half because he went nuts against the second team.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, Anthony.
It's interesting to see what how far the Lakers go.
But before I bring you to talk about Lakers and Grizzlies, I'm gonna put you on the spot. LeBron James the GOAT?
Yes, he's the GOAT. He is the GOAT. He's the GOAT. I'm
I
sorry.
bring you in here. I
Hey,
allow
sorry.
you on this show.
Sorry,
And this
he's
is
the
what
GOAT.
you do.
I'm sorry.
How do you disrespect the family?
Hey,
I catch
remember.
enough from it from my group of friends. Is not all of them. I convinced a couple. I convinced a couple.
Well, so take a moment. Lay out the facts on why LeBron James is the GOAT. Go ahead.
All right. For me personally, I feel like there's a. I feel like it's a lot of. I've seen that. I've just seen that. I think it's a lot of preference to do with it as well. I mean,
It is. It's always subjective.
It's not as clear cut as like football. I feel like everybody's GOAT just about now is Tom Brady, right? So for me, it's generational to like you see people of like watching it from then to now. It's different. Like my guy was LeBron James, who's been dominating the league since before I was born. And then when I started watching basketball, was the cover of NBA 2K, was winning championship MVPs. But I just think what he's doing right now, year 20, averaging 29 points per game. Like it's not ever been done by any of the greatest players of all time. They fizzle out at some point, and he's continued to right now play at a level to where if you're going for one season, I would take LeBron. Some people take LeBron as the first pick in a fantasy draft, just like not fantasy points wise, but like if you're going to lead a team, what's wrong with taking LeBron? I mean, scoring wise, rebounding, deep. I mean, he's still right there. He's better stats now than his 2012 season when he won the MVP. Like, to me, it's a ridiculous to even think about. But then also I like to come with, his winning. I get the 4-6 final record, but do you take a guy who loses 6 times in the finals or a guy that's getting bounced in the first round before, Scotty and those guys come in? So that's why something I like to think about as well. He did go to 8 straight. The only ones to do it before that was, I believe, the Celtics with Bill Russell. So, I mean, that's, again, something you don't heard of. And then the scoring record and all these things, I just feel like at this point, I don't like to argue it because either way, it's not a difference in my opinion. But I think LeBron's a GOAT just for the reasons that I stated.
Fair. And we'll chalk that up to a age gap. And that's okay, Anthony, but that's the point of having these podcasts have differences. Hey, I love the stats that you dropped out. I give LeBron his props. He is playing well into his late 30s, 20th year in the NBA. But he's not playing 82 games anymore. So I'll throw that little snippet in there too. But hey, I love your breakdown, man. You look like you got the hang of this little podcast thing already, man. You might be all right. But all right, so back to this Lakers Memphis series.
I love that you won't let me reply because you know that I would go in hard. he knows that, and the guys watching the show know that if I would have got this, I would have scolded you, young man.
I know. I was watching one time before, and I think it got brought up, and I saw you going in on somebody. I can't speak about
before Jordan. I can only speak about what I saw. So for you and your generation, he's the best you've ever seen, and that I can't debate.
Yeah,
there's no argument with that. I can't debate about Mickey Mantle against Ken Griffey Jr. or Mike Trout. Right. I just know the legend of.
Yeah.
So when you ask me the best center fielder I've ever seen, I say Ken Griffey Jr. Because it's the best I've ever seen. I can't compare Willie Mays, Mantle, DiMaggio. I can't compare all these outfielders. Babe Ruth. To me, Ken Griffey Jr. is the best outfielder I've ever seen.
One, you didn't see him in. 2, they probably ain't got film of it. So
yeah. It's worse than the Zapruder film.
I'm still trying to get proof of Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game. I'm still trying to get proof of it. I need proof.
It was 10, and then they photoshopped another 0.
Hey, because my thing is, I keep seeing a picture and 100 written on it, but I need to see some film. And film's been around when Wilt Chamberlain was playing. So
there's film of Bob Cousy and Bill Russell dribbling up the court against mailmen and construction workers, but there's no film of Will Chamberlain's 100-point game ever anywhere. It was created in Hollywood with the moon landing.
Well, apparently I saw some video. I mean, it could be fake or whatever, but it was some guy talking about how there's like radio recording of it, and there's like bits and parts that like aren't there. Like it's cut out a little bit, and then like he has 100 points. So it's interesting.
It's basically like a night out with Bill Cosby. There's questionable moments that you don't remember. There's blackouts. I don't remember how that happened.
I don't take the pudding pop. So to this Memphis Grizzlies and Lakers situation, Anthony, what John Morant injury? If it's severe, serious, like how are you looking at this series? Does it change it? Does it favor the Lakers? I mean, obviously, I think it favors the Lakers, but kind of give me your breakdown on if a Ja Morant injury plays a big part in this.
Yeah. For me personally, I had the Lakers winning in 6. I did a video like all the first round matchups.
Okay.
I had them winning in about 6 games. My reason was also because Steven Adams is hurt. He's not playing center. Then I forgot the other guy's name, but another front court player. And, you know, AD is going to have a field day in this year. If he stays healthy, you know, he came back in. But to me, John Morant was the one thing on the court to where the Lakers didn't have something to account for.
Exactly.
Like,
I felt that way.
They don't have a perimeter guy that can stick with Morant, you know, and stop him getting his. I mean, you saw early on in the game, him driving and finishing, fast break, transition. You know, Morant runs circles around guys like Reeves and Russell in the athleticism and the speed department. So with him gone, what do you know, what's their X factor now? You know, Dylan Brooks, is he going to trash talk their way into winning the series? Like, I don't know. I don't see it happening. I already had it in 6 just because of, especially the Steven Adams injury. I just think that they match up well together. And again, I don't think you can go against a healthy LeBron James and AD. I mean, you know, you saw it. I mean, people like to bring up the bubble, whatever it is, but I mean, they're dominant. And even in 2020, before AD got hurt in the playoffs against the Suns, they were up 2-1. I mean, they were the 1 seed at one point of that season until they both go down. So I thought it was going to be 6 games, but I think it'll still be around 6 games. I think 6 games. I don't think it'll be a sweep. They'll get a game or 2, but I think the Lakers definitely now, with John Morant being out, even if it's just for a game or 2, I think the momentum takes over there.
Huge momentum swing.
That?
Which one? Right here?
I never picked Jordan in 6. It was always a sweep when I picked Jordan. That's why Jordan. 6 games. I never thought Jordan could lose 2 out of 6.
You wow. But no, I feel the same way. Coming into the series, I went Memphis just because, like you said, Anthony, I was like, who's going to guard Ja? But now with him possibly missing a game or 2, that's a big piece that you don't have to worry about as the Lakers and trying to defend.
Yeah.
Now it's up to the Grizzlies. Well, obviously you're not going to have a duplicate of Ja Morant sitting on your bench anywhere. So unfortunately, you're going to have to find a committee of guys that's going to have to feel a lot of offensive responsibility that you're going to miss with Ja Morant. That includes Dylan Brooks, Desmond Bane. Those 2, off the top of my head, got to be the 2 that's got to come in, and they got to put down buckets. Yeah. Like, I'm with you. I don't know if Dylan Brooks could shit talk his way to a second round entry. I don't think that's the case, because first of all, LeBron he's not falling for the trash talking. He's too savvy. He's been playing in the game way too long. And he's going to coach his teammates to, hey, man, don't fall for Dylan Brooks' little antics, man. This man's a character. He ain't no basketball player, so he's going to say that. So I'm with you right there. And I'm not changing my pick, but it looks a little scary for the Memphis Grizzlies, depending on how long John Morant might have to sit on the sideline. It's going to change.
You're just not losing the stats. You're losing the explosive playmaker who beats a guy, gets to the middle of the defense. Mm-hmm. They rotate to stop him, and he gets open shots for other guys. Yeah, so you're not just losing the points. You're losing the playmaker, the creativity, the leader. I know they've had a decent record without him.
Yeah, they did.
But I mean, in a series, it's easy to figure out what you're going to do without a superstar, right? This is the time of year where the superstars, for the most part, make the difference. Whether they're making the shot or creating the shot for somebody else, you lean on your big dogs at this time, and role players just can't cut it in a series. I'd be shocked.
Nah, you're right. But there's another big injury that I think is going to change the I guess the expectations of certain series. So looking at this Miami Heat and Milwaukee Bucks series, Miami comes off the play-in, loses. They lose to Atlanta in grand fashion. Atlanta out-bullied them, out-physical them. But then they come back and they take care of who they take care of? Was it Chicago Bulls? Yeah, took care of Chicago Bulls in the last play-in game. And I was thinking, man, like, so many up and downs within the last couple of days. There's no way that they're going to go into Milwaukee and beat Giannis, who could possibly be MVP this year for sure, and get a game one victory. Sure enough, second quarter, Giannis goes down. And as soon as you saw him go down, I swear, like, you saw all the momentum just die on the Milwaukee side. Just absolutely just left the stadium, just disappeared. It's like, oh my gosh, there's all our hopes and dreams walk into the locker room right now. So Anthony, man, Milwaukee, do they even have a chance if Giannis is out?
I mean, I obviously know about the injury. I didn't see what I'm not sure if they came up with how long he's going to be out for. Do you know if they?
No, I didn't see that yet. I know they're still
now. I'll give me a second. I'll pull it up.
Yeah, but he had the back injury, so
yeah. I think if he doesn't play, I still think the Bucks will win, whether that be in 6 or 7 games. The Bucks are a better team overall than the Heat, and the Heat just lost Hero too with the broken hand. Yep. So I mean, Hero isn't Giannis, but at the end of the day, like, the Bucks are still a well-built team. And, they got dudes like Holiday, Middleton steps up, Lopez. I mean,
that's my rebuttal, though, Anthony.
I'm
scared. I'm scared about if Holiday and Middleton are going to be consistent enough to try to carry the team without Giannis. That's my only thing I'm worried about.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I just think that, even with the Giannis injury, they're outmanned a little bit, Miami, and they haven't played very well basketball. So that's my kind of thing. But I think if Giannis, even if they drop another game or two, or not 2, but if they drop another game here and they go down 0-2 and Giannis comes back, I had picked them to sweep if Giannis was healthy. I put that on my video. Obviously, I'm wrong. But, Giannis, there's nobody accounting for Giannis. Giannis is, damn near unguardable. So he misses another game, I think the Bucks win and not lose another game with Giannis back. But if he don't come back, I think that definitely goes to 7. Or if the Heat, steps on their throat and just go with it, I mean, it could be over quicker than, people would have thought.
And this is where Michael Jordan's son, Jimmy Butler, can step up. If you've never seen the theory that Jimmy Butler is Michael Jordan's son, like, just Google that and somebody will break it down to
really.
Yeah, there was like a confidentiality agreement, everything. And like, you look at Jimmy Butler without hair, like, somebody breaks it down in depth. I'm not like blowing smoke. Like, I'm a firm believer after seeing everything. But you look at Giannis, they don't have anyone who can just go and get them a bucket at any time, right? Like, they got some shooters, but Middleton and Holiday they're not scaring you, right? Like, you can't leave them open on a rotation. That's different than go get me a bucket. We're down 3 and we need a basket right now. It says, CBS Sports says, injury day to day. He's expected to be available for game 2.
Okay. And that's tomorrow night.
No structural damage in the x-ray. And we'll see how he feels and get him treatment. But that's the good part of the NBA getting every game on national television by itself, is that of the first round can take 6 months to play. So he's got time to heal, right? If it goes the distance, it starts at Easter and ends at like Labor Day. So these NBA series last so long. There's no more 2 games, travel, 3 games, travel, 2 games, and get it done in a week. Like, so if they can somehow steal game 2 and without him, now you're giving him 5 days off to get better. But I think he will be out there. It's just a matter if he can finish the game.
Well, I mean, I hear you on that point, Nick, because I think even if Giannis just is out there, even if he's not 100%, and say he gives them 15, 20 minutes, a little 10 points, few rebounds, it's enough to scare Miami Heat because you got to account for Giannis once he's on the floor, no matter what.
Oh, definitely.
But this for my opinion, I think the Bucks' survival is dependent on Chris Middleton, who put up 33 points off of 12 or 20 shooting last night. So that's sufficient. My only knock is Drew Holiday, man. You're going 6 for 18, bro. Like, why are you taking 18 shots and you only dropping 6? You only put in 16 points. I like the 16 assists. But if you're going to take 18 shots, man, I'm going to need you to at least hit more, at least closer to 50% than what you're doing right now. You got to be more consistent with that. Yes, it's good that you got the assist. And yes, you're doing your job as a point guard. But if you take 18 shots, you got to make at least 50% of that, because now without Giannis, you're relied upon not just with your assists, not just with, being a defensive guy that you are. Like, you got to put in some points. And I like Jay Crowder coming off the bench, Bobby Portis coming off the bench for the Bucks, who can add some good play. I mean, Bobby Portis put in 21. So you got a couple of guys that can come off the bench and throw in 20 points. But you can't put in 16 and on 6 or 18 shooting without Giannis and think you're going to be able to win. You got to put in more offensively to even keep keep the boat afloat until for sure when Giannis is getting back. So that I think that's telling for sure. But it's crazy how 2 injuries drastically changed the perception on how a basketball series was going to go. I thought I'm with you, Anthony. I'm like, oh sweet, Bucks is about to be done with this and move on to the next round, and get the rest. And now it's about survival. It really is about survival right now, in my opinion, for the Bucks, depending on how long Giannis is out.
Hey, I'll be right back.
Yeah, go ahead. Now, me and Anthony, we don't need you. Go ahead. Bye. Anyway.
I see you're channeling your inner Mel with the way you're talking to me.
Next matchup, I didn't see this, Anthony. I did not see the Clippers going into Phoenix and taking game 1, man. I didn't see that. Oh, you called it?
Not that they were going to steal game 1, but I did say in my video that I made that this series is going to surprise a lot of people. Mm-hmm. That this game is probably going to go to 5-6 games if the Suns end up winning it. But I am not on the Suns hype train. I'm not on the. I don't think they win the finals at all.
Break it down, man. Just tell me why you're not on the Suns hype train, man. Go ahead, break it down, bro.
My thing is that you look in the playoffs, you need your dudes. You need the guys like Durant, Booker, and then Paul and Ayton, obviously. You look at the Lakers. Their issue is that you got LeBron, you got AD. Mm-hmm. Who else do you have?
Yeah.
Now you got some guys. Like Reeves stepped up in these things, but they made that trade
a big time last night. Yeah.
Right. But now you trade Westbrook.
Mm-hmm.
You get, Vanderbilt. You get Russell. You end up. I forgot the other trade for Hachimura.
Mo Bamba. Got Hachimura. Yep.
Yeah. So it's depth. You need depth, and the Suns have no depth. So now you're the Clippers, and you get out to a little bit of a run, and you're up, and you got the Suns playing from behind. You got old dudes playing a lot of minutes. You're playing from behind, and they got no break. You're gonna have these dudes playing 40 minutes a game because if you don't got them in, who's gonna stick with them? They got their bench is very thin. So I said in a playoff series, it's all great during the regular season. Playoff basketball is different than regular season basketball, but I don't see them going just because of that depth. Say if they even beat the Clippers, I don't know if they get Paul George back, but they just proved they could do it without him.
Mm-hmm.
If they get past this round, they play the Nuggets, and the Nuggets are a deep team. You have to go through whether it be the Kings or the Warriors, or if the Lakers get by either one of those teams, those are teams with depth.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think with that much of a top-heavy roster, because they gave up a lot.
They gave up a lot. To me, Mikal Bridges was the biggest loss of that whole trade.
Yeah. And what's his name? Johnson too. They lost.
Yep. Wesley Johnson.
Great, yeah, great defenders, great shooters, and those are some guys. Like those are some great young players, and you lost out on that to bring in Durant, which it's Kevin Durant. I mean, he's gonna do him. He had 27 points, something like that last night.
Yeah.
So I just don't think in the battle of playing a 7-game series that team's gonna be able to win the finals.
That's a good point, Anthony. Hey, Nick, you be proud, man. Anthony just broke it down, man. He got some good points, and it's funny that you say that.
You think I was going to bring a schlub on here? Like,
no,
how do you think of me?
Come on, no, I'm just saying, like,
I heard you as I was walking back up.
Anthony's bringing up
Nets legend Mikal Bridges. That's how we refer to him now, because he already is a Nets legend. Yeah. He's played more games than Irving and Durant combined as a Net.
Because he brought us some great points that I had put out on the late night show that I thought were a lot of points that were missing, because everybody, once they made the trade for Kevin Durant, they're like, oh, they're coming out the West. I'm like, how do y'all think a guy that's, first of all, Kevin Durant, we know how talented he is, but you got him in a trade and what? He was healthy. He wasn't healthy. He was hurt. So first of all, you didn't get a healthy player. You got a player that at the end of the season, because he's already missed time even after you acquired him, you still got to take into account that Kevin Durant needs to know how to play with DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, and
There's
Chris
no
Paul.
chemistry, right? Like I mentioned earlier with the Lakers. The Lakers
they don't have the
built
time.
that chemistry since the trade.
Yes.
The Suns don't have that chemistry.
They didn't have that luxury.
You can't drop in a player.
No.
Like, the
no matter how great he is, you still got to learn how to play with each other. Yeah.
Yeah. It takes time. You got to learn rotations. You got to learn who's going to attack when. You got to learn the substitution pattern that the coach needs to use. There's a lot that goes into it. Like, you just don't. It's not the All-Star game where nobody plays defense and everyone can get 40 points.
Yeah,
it's playoff basketball is different, and you have to prep for it. And that's why you see everybody turn their game up a notch come early mid-March.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're getting playoff ready. Suns aren't playoff ready. They're a talented team trying to skate by.
Big points, and Anthony point, which I very love, was the depth of that. You gave up a lot in that trade to get Kevin Durant, and well, I will say this: I did pick the Suns to win the series, but I did not pick them to win the West, because, to Anthony's points, when you don't have the depth, and especially last night, once Kevin Durant got a haircut, I thought the Clippers were in trouble, man. Damn, I was like, oh, KD cut his hair. Oh, he about to drop 50, and then he only comes up with 27 points. But I'm looking at Westbrook. Westbrook had an atrocious game on the offensive side. And you know how much I dog Russell Westbrook on this show, on a late night owl show. I've done it numerous times, but I give credit when credit is due. That man made the key plays defensively when it mattered. That block that he did on Booker was clutch. And it was very necessary for them to win that game. And it changes the momentum of that series. So now, to Anthony's point, the Suns can't sit here and say, "Oh shit, we got to work for this joint now. We gotta find a way to get past this hurdle." Because now, for what everybody thought was going to be a sweep, or maybe done in 5, no, you gotta go earn this, and you're doing this without Paul George, which a lot of people was thinking was a key piece that the Clippers needed to have to win.
Yeah,
they showed they can win without him. So that leaves Phoenix scrambling right now.
Yeah, because if you go down 0-2, first round's 5 games, right?
No, I checked it. It's 7 games still.
Oh, did they move up to 7?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't want to go down 0-2, regardless, right? Like, if you're 0-2, you're on the brink of elimination if it's 5. But when you're in a 7-game series, I mean, I'm not one. I guess it's the coach in me. Like, I'm not pushing the panic button, because how many times have we seen LeBron on his title runs lose game 1 of a series and win it in 5?
True.
So sometimes the better team, all right, throw your best punch at us. We're going to make our adjustments, and then you're not going to be able to answer us because we are the more talented team. So the Suns could go out and win in 5. I don't trust any team that has Westbrook on it, because even though he played well yesterday,
Oh no, he
This
didn't play
guy
well.
could hit the side of
He
the
made key
backboard and
plays.
clutch with 4 shots. And
He
I
played
do
a
want to
good
say this,
game,
and I want to make
not
it
offensively.
very clear. Fuck Devin Booker. Because I hit 15 out of 16 in a parlay yesterday, and the only thing I didn't hit was him making 2 threes. That jerk off made 0. So fuck Devin Booker.
You
Fuck
sound a
every
little salty
Kardashian
about
that he's
that,
ever hooked
dog.
up with.
You sound a little salty about that, dog. You all
Dude, I
right?
hit 15 out of 16, and the best shooter in the game doesn't make a 3. So fuck him and the Kardashian that he wrote in on. And if your mom's watching, Anthony and Grandma, I apologize. Forgive me.
All right, let's move on to it.
But mom knows me. Mom knows how I get.
The series with the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. I don't think we need to really talk about that. The Nuggets are the better team. I just
ugly.
think, yeah, that was just ugly.
The most exciting part about that was the almost brawl, like 83-53, and you throw your elbow into a guy's face.
Yeah, that series not even worth talking about. Not too much going on there. I'm expecting a sweep for sure in that one. Celtics, Hawks. Anybody, Anthony, Nick, any of y'all think the Hawks even got a chance in the series? I don't think they do.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like anybody can win a couple games. I mean, I had said that with the way the Hawks were playing down the stretch, they were splitting every game. I actually said that, and this was like one of my more against the against the normal takes from people. I said that game they can go to 6. I feel like, just because I didn't know about Brown, how Brown was playing with that hand and the mask and everything. So I was like, without Brown, that's gonna be a little bit more like a hard series for them. But realistically, the Celtics, in my opinion, are gonna win. There's no doubt about that. I just thought the Hawks can steal a game or 2 at home, that kind of thing. But nah, the Celtics definitely have that series.
Nick, anything on that Celtics?
I think
Hawks?
they're streaky enough from the 3 to keep games close, but I think just the Celtics can wear them down. And never bet against a team in the playoffs when one of the players has a broken nose and is wearing a mask, because I don't think the mask has ever lost a series.
Hey, ask Rip
Terry
Hamilton.
Kittles with the Nets. Rodman wore one. Rip Hamilton wore them. Like if LeBron had a mask for a while.
It's
like,
that Phantom of the
have a
Opera
mask.
Thing,
it's the only time in my life I've ever rooted for a mask. Halloween and NBA playoffs, because COVID ruined masks for me. But now I'm like, you know what? That looks really good, because you can't tell with Jalen Brown where the mask starts and his beard starts. Like, it just looks like his beard. He looks like one of the Munster kids. Like, it looks like there's hair all over the face. You can't tell.
Nah, I'm with y'all. Celtics, I think they got control of that series. We'll see what the Hawks can do. I think I'm with you, Nick. They can get streaky with the shooting, 3-point shooting, to try to make it close, but overall,
they can
Boston's
keep the games close, but not the series.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Agreed.
And you know how much I hate everything Boston, and I would love to shit on them, but I just in this series, I can't find a reason to do it.
No doubt. 76ers Nets. Just quick moment. Nick, no chance for your Nets? Slim chance?
No, there's no chance.
Okay.
The only series I think that is, now Giannis is hurt. I keep saying the G in it. Forgive me. My kid yells at me all the time for that too. The only series that I thought would be competitive was the Cavaliers Knicks, and we had a great game with that. But
yes,
the Sixers aren't hitting 21 threes every game, but they won by 20. You're going to double Embiid. I watched the whole game. Your strategy is to double Embiid. Those guys are going to have to make shots, and a lot of them were open shots. And if you're an NBA player with an open 3, which you shoot 10,000 a week, and you can't hit a shot from 17 feet, but you can hit one from behind the arc. That's the game, right? That's the game now. It's basically a lot of these games turn into a 3-point contest.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Nets. There's no way. Like, it would be a miracle if they won one game. I'm realistic. Bridges, Dinwiddie. You'd have to have Curry and Harris combined for 10 threes to have a chance to win the game, and you still might not. The Sixers are just too good, and Harden is
He's a facilitator
playing
now.
well. Like
He's a facilitator now.
As much as I want to shit on him for how he handled leaving the Nets and stuck us with Ben Simmons, he's doing a very good job. You know, when he was at his best with the Nets and I was watching him every game, he picks and chooses when to be a scorer. And he can break you down. He can get into that little floater in the lane. He's very good at three. When he's on from three, he's deadly because now you're afraid of the step back three, but then he'll beat you if you come up too close to him. So, yeah, and it's amazing. In his 14-year career, he's never missed the playoffs.
Yeah, I like it.
That's
I like
impressive. It. You know, for somebody who he's a lightning rod for criticism. He's put together a really, really good resume.
Word. Let's move to we're gonna get to these last two series and then we'll close up shop. And I think these next two series are gonna be very exciting. Man, that Knicks and Cavaliers game was I mean, because we talked about it, me and MJ, and we talked about it on the show leading up to the playoffs. I mean, because we knew we were going to get Cavaliers and Knicks, and I'm standing on this hill. This is going 7, and I'm going with the Knicks. I think just Jalen Brunson, he's a different animal, and he's bringing something different to a Knicks squad that they desperately needed, and he's bringing leadership. He's bringing a full point guard play, and he can torch you on the offensive side. Put up 27 points in that game, 11 of 24, just a little bit under 50%, but still pretty efficient. I'm looking at RJ Barrett. I need you to do better than 2 of 12, though. If the Knicks are going to win this series, RJ Barrett needs to play phenomenally better than what he did in game 1. And that's why I'm giving credit to the Knicks for them to pull out that game. Julius Randle didn't have the best game neither, but they found a way to muster out that game. So RJ Barrett and Julius Randle, if they put up solid games and let Jalen Brunson do what he continues to do, they're winning this series. Anthony, jump in here. Knicks Cavaliers, give us your breakdown of it.
Yeah, I think the Knicks at this point should definitely win that series if Barrett and Randall, step up, do what they got to do. Let Brunson do his thing, but those guys got to do what they got to do. Those are two very key players. Obviously, Hart stepping up, playing a great role. But when I did my video on it, I did under the impression that Randall wasn't playing the first 2 games. So I had said probably Cavaliers in 6. That was my thing. But with Randall playing, even though he didn't play a great game, I mean, he played a serviceable game. What he had, 19. I think that's what he had, 19. But no, with a healthy Knicks squad, and I think if they play well, they are a lot better than people give them credit to be. That's another team where they have, after getting some guys, a pretty deep squad when it comes to their bench. They don't really have that one dude. Like Brunson's that guy. But people don't look at Brunson as like the Suns have that Kevin Durant and Booker. But they have like a nice, they have an even, distribution of talent in that team. And I think in this series, they match up well. That definitely goes to about 7 games. I think that they definitely can win this series.
Nice. Jump in here, Nick. Knicks Cavaliers.
Donovan Mitchell shooting 16 threes in the game was just retarded.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I mean, you basically, even though you scored 38 points, you shot 6 of 16. You take those 3-pointers away, and you're shooting 8 out of 20, which isn't too bad, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 16 would be 14. You're shooting 8 out of 14. So you're shooting a better percentage from inside. Get inside. Stop chucking the ball up. Create for your team. There's nothing worse than watching them. They get a good defensive stop. They kick it out. A guy comes down. There's only one guy inside the paint, and he chucks a 3 because he's open. So you're going to see a lot of changes. I mean, it's the 4-5 seed, so, they're evenly matched, right?
Yeah.
Like, it should be the series that's close. Occasionally, you'll see a 3-6 or shockingly a 7-2. But on the norm, 4 or 5s are usually our best matchups.
Yeah.
So I think these two teams are the same. And I know Matt is going to attack me for saying this, but I think both of these teams are playing for the honor to get swept in the next round. Like, I just think it's that far of a drop-off from the top 3 down.
That's fair.
I mean, but if the Heat can get past the Bucks, that's a gift to whoever wins this series.
Yeah.
And you got to, does NBA, they don't reseed, right?
No.
Like NFL,
No.
right?
No.
Okay. So then you get the Heat. Maybe you get lucky, but I think the Heat are similar to the Knicks and the Cavs, and they're not going to score 130 every game in a series. They're not going to shoot the lights out like the Sixers did the other day, or beat you up and down the court. You're going to see old school basketball. I bet the under of 199.5, and I hit because it was 101.97. I hit it by 1.5. So you're going to see a different type of game in this series than you will the other series, because let's be real, I'm not knocking it, but these teams, like you said, one of you said it, they're well built, but you don't have that superstar that can just change the game. So it's going to be a lot of grinding. It's going to be a lot of whose role player steps up, which one, maybe not your first or second score. Barrett was almost the reason you lost. If you're a Knicks fan, like, people were going nuts during the game about Barrett. Like, he bet on the Cavaliers the way he turned the ball over. I think the last time he touched it. And I'm not shitting on him as a Knick. I'm shitting on him as a guy who went to Duke. I love to see that part. Even though I had the Knicks to win by 1-10, I just love to see the Duke guy shit the bed.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a series that the other series might be over, and we're waiting for this series to move on. I think this could go the distance. It's the only one I see being competitive. And even though I'm not a fan of either team, I'm interested to see the games because they will be close, and then they're evenly matched.
It's going to be real close. It very evenly matched. What's up, Javen 13? What's going on, man?
Well,
but yeah, no, I agree with your sentiments on it. It's very evenly matched. I just think that it's definitely going to 7, and I just think the Knicks just got a little bit more because look, on the Cavaliers, I love Jared Allen's defensive presence. I love, obviously, Spider Mitchell Donovan. He's that dude. He's a dog. I'm kind of curious on how Darius Garland, why the game he played the other night, he kind of disappeared a little bit. So I'm a little curious about that. But I think this is going to be a good matchup for sure. Now, the final matchup, which I think is going to be the matchup of all first rounds in this whole playoff series, Kings and Golden State Warriors. Now, I'm not going to toot my horn yet because it was only game 1. All right. This might go to 7 as well. I just think the Sacramento Kings, who I did pick to win this series, I think they're younger, they're hungry. You got the coach of the year, Mike Brown. I just think the Kings could take this. You got to remember, you got to win on the road, and we all is well documented how the Warriors are absolutely pathetic on the road. They are pathetic on the road. I mean, if y'all saw their regular season record on the road, you would like Golden State Warriors.
No, good.
So, hey, speak on it, Anthony. Does this present a challenge for the Warriors, because now you're down 0-1 on the road and you got to go game 2 tonight? Come on, man. Give me a synopsis and break it down for us, man.
Yeah. So, I had said that I think the Warriors would win in 6 just because of them getting Wiggins back, their experience, having to do like Curry, Warriors. They're the Warriors, over the last how many years now, you don't want to bet against them. But last night, I feel like they win that game. I think they lost by 3, right? They win that game. This series is completely different. They got to get one on the road. If they want to win the series, if you don't have the home court advantage, you got to get one on the road. And they haven't been good on the road all year. So, I think it's here we go on the phone. I think it's a good look for them though, being that they only lost by 3 against a Kings team who was very hot at home. Definitely have one of the better home records this year. But yeah, I'm going to stick with the Warriors in 6 because I feel like if they steal this game tonight and they go to Golden State, they get those 2. I just feel like at some point, these young teams do hit a roadblock with the experience, and the Warriors don't have an issue with that. And they do have young players who are also experienced because of how good they are and how many. Poole, Peyton, those are dudes who are young, but they have championship level experience that these other teams don't have. So I feel like that's going to work in their favor.
Yeah. Oh, and AP. All right. So you got Harrison Barnes. Malik Monk. All right. Always, come on, can never forget De'Aaron Fox, who played the game of his life against Steph Curry. His defense, I think, was a key to that. Keegan Murray. All right. Kevin Horter. Who's one more I can throw out there? Damn, off the top of my head. Oh, Domantas Sabonis. There's 6 right there. There we go, AP. I know the Kings, man. They got this, dog. They got it. Nick, jump in here. Kings, Warriors. What you think?
As a Jet fan whose team has had a very long playoff drought, I can relate to the Kings fans and their joy for winning that game the other day. It was pretty cool to watch them all celebrate as if they all collectively lost their virginity at the same time. Like they were all outside, like, turn on the beam. We finally did it.
The beam.
I don't even know what the beam was until I saw the thing on the House of Highlights. That's pretty crazy. The only time I see a beam is at 9/11 when they light up the 2 lights for the towers here in New Jersey. So I had no idea what the hell that was about. But I said when Fox got drafted, he would be a superstar. I love that kid coming out. Mm-hmm. His speed and explosiveness was on another level. This is everything they thought John Wall was going to be.
Yes.
Right? Fox is what everyone had said. He could be better than John Wall, and people laughed. And now they're like, God, we hope John Wall can be Fox. He's just a phenomenal talent. He doesn't get a lot of recognition on the East Coast. But if you're going to beat the Warriors, and it sucks that the games are on so late, that he's not going to get the national play that he should get unless they get further in the series, further into the playoffs. I like them to win the series. Like I think they're a bad matchup for the Warriors. Mm-hmm. And let's not forget, Mike Brown's got a little bit of experience beating the Warriors in the playoffs. They were down 3-1, right? And they came back and won when he was he was the coach.
No, hold on. That was in
Mike Brown.
That's Tyronn Lue. Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, they ousted him.
I know you're old and your memory's kind of foggy and hazy.
Don't give that much about the NBA. So I try.
No, I'm gonna chalk it up to old age. I'm gonna chalk it up to old age.
No, it's not giving a fuck about the NBA. I'll be honest. That's 100% what it is. I tried.
But
the only reason is you and my son are the only goddamn reason that I have to watch the NBA, so I can talk about it. So I'm not 100% in it.
But to your point about Mike Brown, who is a coach of the year,
easy.
Let's not forget he was on that coaching staff with the Warriors when Steve Kerr had to take a sabbatical.
I knew he was in the series. My bad.
Yeah. So
as much as he knows what they want to do.
Exactly. He knows,
and they haven't changed much. They haven't evolved.
You don't have to.
Just like, we're going to play our game, and you have to beat us. And now they got a team who might be a really tough matchup for them. They can't guard the Kings.
No, I don't think so.
They can't guard the Kings. Klay Thompson can't guard everybody. Draymond can't intentionally foul everyone. Like, they're going to wear down.
And Thompson's not the defender he used to be either.
The Warriors are going to have to shoot the way the Sixers shot against the Nets. Like, they're going to have to hit 20, 21 threes, I think. You know, they're going to really have to shoot well from the three-point line to have a chance. But I like the Kings. It would be good to watch a new and up-and-coming team. Like I said, I'm a Jet fan, so I'm eternally rooting for the underdog. You know, I want to see the Patriots get knocked off. I want to see now that the Chiefs get knocked off. I'm excited for the Lions, Jaguars, and Jets. Shut up and deal with it. You know I don't like you. I'm looking forward to the teams that have been stepped on for so many years, like the Kings, to arrive. Like, I think it would be a lot of fun to have a new team there. So I'm rooting for the Kings. You know, once the Nets get knocked out in 3 games, I'm full-fledged on the Kings. So if that tells you guys anything, that means bet the Warriors heavy.
It's just great to your point, and it's not a knock on the Warriors. I think the Warriors are I think they're going into that point of their see that they have, because they have a amount of success in the last 10 years. The only thing is that, you know, you getting up there and to me, you're relying more on Steph Clayton more than you ever have before. My thing is Draymond is he's going to do Draymond, but Draymond is still He's a facilitator, and knowing him, he's still gonna find a way to get himself suspended or thrown out of the game anyway. So his availability to me is still a question mark because he won't be able to guard none of them guys on the Kings. So at some point, his frustration is going to leak in, and he's going to be a
non-factor. Let's add to that too. These guys have played a lot of playoff games. They got a lot of miles on those legs. Klay Thompson missing basically 2.5 years is now going into the playoffs where they may have done some load management during the season, but now you got to play every game.
Yeah, so, no hiding now.
It's
you're right, Anthony. No hiding.
Well, shape as you're in as an NBA player, it's going to wear on you that first year back. Look at Saquon Barkley, right? The injury. It took him that second year before he was himself again. It's a lot for the Warriors. I mean, the Warriors might bounce back next year and be a credible threat. Hell, they might even win the series. But there's a lot of question marks on that team. There's more questions than answers. And for years, they've had all the answers, right?
Yeah.
Now they're the team being questioned. How do they respond to that? How do they bounce back to that? How do they be the team that isn't up 3-0? How do they respond if they're down 2-0? So I'm curious to see their resolve after being the team that's been the shit, right?
Yeah, and I'm not counting out the Warriors because I think at the end of the day, you would be foolish 100. To count out anything Warriors with Steph and Klay on there.
Well, that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah. well, I mean, hey, if it works out, it works out. But at the end of the day, but because they have so much championship experience and playoff experience, which that can make a difference in this series alone. Because there's no playoff experience on the Kings. I mean, you got Malik Monk that might have been on a Lakers squad that might have a quick playoff appearance, but for the most part, this is all foreign territory for him. It's all a learning experience at the same time. But sometimes when you are so young and so athletic and so giddy in the moment, I'm kind of thinking that the Kings are playing with house money right now. And we all know how dangerous to play somebody with house money, because at that point, it's like, yo, I'm going all in. Let's do it. Like, we don't even care. And we'll worry about the repercussions later. And so sometimes that works out. Sometimes it might be their demise. But, man, this Kings team is something serious, man. But look, we're gonna shut up. We're gonna shut it down, Anthony. When we clear, just stay on with us. I want to rap to you real quick, and we'll chop it up off air. So real quick,
you're
Anthony.
You're freestyling?
No. Come on, man.
He's gonna drop some bars he's been working on.
Nah. Real quick, let the people know where they can follow your career at Montclair. You got social media handles that you could throw out that they can follow you and follow your progression throughout college.
Yeah, so I have the sports TikTok thing under me. So if you want to follow that, but I have Instagram. It's Anthony R 3204. That's my Instagram handle. I post stuff, gym stuff, football stuff. So. And then I got like Twitter. I think my Twitter handle is the same thing. But I post my TikToks under there for the sports stuff, and then Instagram handles Anthony R 3204.
Nice. So there y'all go. Make sure y'all go follow Anthony. Show him some love. Show him some support. Keep man. I love talking with you, man. You're well buttoned up. We definitely gonna wish you the success and prosperity in your college career and anything that you do. Just make sure that you got people over here at I.O.W. Sports, especially Nick, and hell, the whole I.O.W. Sports crew, man. We are going to be following you. We're going to keep supporting you. And hey, anytime you want to jump on here, man, either rap to me, rap to Nick, let us know, and we'll be glad to have you on here if you have time, because I know you got a busy schedule. You're a student athlete and all, so that comes first. But anytime you want to come and chop it up with sports with us, just let us know, and we get you on here, man. So on behalf of our
real quick, let me chime in real quick if you don't mind. Also, viewers who are friends of Anthony, if you're here, you're new the first time, you enjoyed what we do here, make sure to subscribe to our channel, sign up for the alerts, and all our info is on the screen below. Anthony, thank you. It's a pleasure to talk with you. Whenever I see you, whether it's at your work or wherever, it always puts a smile on my face to see you grow and progress as a young man.
What up, baby?
An athlete. And I'm gonna definitely text Dad about this LeBron James shit. He's gonna hear it from me. But thank you, man. It's been a pleasure watching you grow up and turn into the man that you are. And love you, kid. Thank you.
Thank you. I
for
appreciate
joining
it.
us.
Love you too.
Yeah, no doubt. So on behalf of Anthony, the big homie Nick Shine, I'm the Wild Card Mar. Again, follow us on all those social media handles on the bottom of your screen. I.O.W Sports Network on Facebook, Instagram, and most importantly on YouTube, our YouTube channel where all the content is stored. Again, I.O.W Sports Network, I.O.W Sports One on the Twitter. You can follow us there. You can hit me up personally, Twitter, KC Wildcard Mar on Facebook and Instagram. Man, hey, this was a dope show. And if y'all want more great content, please tune in tonight. Me and MJ, Late Night Owl Show. We'll be hopping on tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But until then, y'all can catch us on Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for episode 240. Man, it's been real, and we will holler at y'all later. Peace, y'all.